What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing you podcast episode 4. Do they call podcasts episodes? I don't think so. What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing you podcast number 4. I don't have a guest with me this week. My buddy Lucchese's been off the life skill deep end, I guess. You could say he I don't know. He's just like 24/7 life skilling. He actually put a great video out that I had linked to in the last podcast about what he had been doing for life skilling crates and stuff, and kind of how he's doing that. But he kind of has just walked away from the game as far as actively playing. He still plays every day, but just AFK life skilling. So he didn't want to come on to the podcast because he didn't really have much to say. I don't know that he made any real gains or anything from where he was last time. So hopefully he does over the next few weeks, or life skilling gets the money he wants, buys the stuff he's trying to get, and I don't know what you do after that. If you're buying gear but you just played a life skill, what do you buy the gear for? Anyway, let's not worry about that. So I'm gonna pick up. We didn't have a podcast last week for kind of the same reason. I didn't have a guest, and not much had changed. There wasn't a whole lot going on that I wanted to make a podcast video about. I could have done a quick 10-minute thing or something like that, but didn't want to. There's some different things going on this week I wanted to at least talk about, and honestly, just hearing from you guys, a lot of people are saying they just like to hear me talk about crap, even if I don't know what I'm talking about sometimes. So here we go. We're gonna do it. Biggest thing so I try armor I did on the previous podcast. I've been playing Lahn obviously a lot over my Dark Knight. I picked up a Tet Mark Shadow, straight up just sniped it off the marketplace. That was pretty cool because I had a duo Mark Shadow previously, and I was trying just to pick up a try. Had notifications on. It came up like midday on a Tuesday or something, and nobody was on, I guess. So I sniped that, which is pretty awesome. I've been trying to buy a Tri Syrup for all eternity, which would have been a 4 AP gain, and I ended up getting a 4 AP gain off the ring. Not too bad. It's one short of what a Tri Crescent ring would be at, but I'm pretty happy with that. I have been trying forever to get a Dandelion for this Lahn in general. I did get a Zarka. Night Vendor had it, and it was actually pretty decent, right? It was like 185 or something, because Night Vendor, it'll fluctuate like 125 to like 350 sometimes. So I did pick that up. I haven't gotten into enchanting it yet, and the reason for that is like I'm still leveling the Lahn. I want to get to 60 with it. And I'm mostly just farming Kadri, and the accuracy difference is non-applicable there. Like, I have enough accuracy already that I'm hitting at Kadri anyways, so the Zark is not going to make a huge difference, so I don't want to invest the money into it right now. I want to focus on getting Dandelion. Like, I really want Dandelion. I've been trying to get it off the Night Vendor. I'm going to hit a bunch of rolls of Night Vendor after recording this podcast too, and then see what happens. So yeah, that's really where my focus has been at. I need to farm some memory fragments. I have about 100 or like 85 to 100, somewhere in there, on it. I thought about pushing the Kudum into Tri, but really just I keep rolling back to I want the Dandelion, save resources for Dandelion, and just go with that. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't want to say I'm full on re-rolling to Lahn. Like, I don't want to just flat out say that, because that implies like I'm gonna sell my other stuff. Like, I have some like duo Kudum and stuff on a ranger that I could sell. I have some decent stuff on my Sork I could sell, and then of course I have like I'll try everything on my Dark Knight that I could sell as well. But I don't necessarily need the money for it, and I don't know that I want to commit still, like this far in. I don't know that I want to commit to Lahn still, and honestly, I didn't grind nearly as much this past week as I normally do. I did a lot of AFK fishing and stuff, and that was just my work life was just busy over the last 2 weeks. It really has been, honestly. So didn't get a whole lot of grinding done. Double XP's going after. I do want to get some grinding in again tonight to try and push into maybe 50% to 59. If I can get that, probably couple hours, 2 hours with double XP up. So yeah, that's where I want to focus at. I really want the Dandelion. I've lost a lot of bids on it, so I keep just watching that. I'm gonna keep trying to bid, and I'm just gonna keep trying like 66 rolls on the Night Vendor, and go from there. I've inadvertently picked up some extra contribution. Again, I don't really life skill, so I haven't done much with it. I started I don't know. I'm gonna eventually get into this crate trading thing. That's apparently like the end all be all. I'll eventually do it. I'm not ready to do that yet. I still play too actively for me to be up for that just yet. But that being the case, from what I understand, you're supposed to make junk crates first to get. You have to be artisan 2 trading, and you're supposed to make junk crates to help you get up to artisan. So I did dump a bunch of contribution into that kind of stuff. I got dudes making junk crates for me now, and in fact, we should probably feed some workers while we're talking anyhow. So that's where my targets are at. I really am just looking for dandelion. As soon as I get it, I'm going to push it straight to try. And then once that's at try, I'm gonna do enhance the Zarka and go ahead and get the Zarka up, get that accuracy boost. I'll sell off the Liberto that's on here, you know, get a little decent chunk, you know, and then run with that. So that's the game plan moving forward. Hopefully I pick it up pretty soon. Obviously here's what I'll say about how the Lahn stuff is going on the marketplace. If I don't get off the night vendor, it's definitely slowed down in popularity. Obviously it's been out for a few weeks now with Awakening. But it's definitely slowed down in popularity, and I say that because what I'm seeing is the Rosar amulets on the marketplace. Those things, for the longest time, were just like, you know, max price 371 or something like that all the time on the marketplace. And now, because I farm Kadri, so all the Rosar weapons are dropping there when I'm on my lawn, they're just chilling. You can see there's 1,500 of them just chilling right now, and they're at 201. And they were 371 max price. Even like 5 or 6 days ago from recording this, it's Sunday. 5 or 6 days ago, these were still max price, and you could list them on the vendor. They're sold instantly, whatever. But what this tells me is people are upgrading. They're getting their Zarkas. They're getting Dandelions. They're getting, like, nobody cares as much as this Rosar. Everybody has the, you know, 15, they already got their 15 tribe, whatever, that they were just leveling with, and everybody's moved on. So that also tells me more people are getting their dandies. It should be hopefully less competitive, but you also have to account for the number of players that haven't started a Lahn, or they're just getting into the game and they started a Lahn and they're going to be looking for it. So there's that. At any rate, it should over time obviously decrease the number of people that are trying to get it. So that'll work out, and eventually I'm gonna hit it on the night vendor, whether it's today or 10 months from now. But at some point that's got to happen. So that's anyways the target. Just get the dandy, instant try it. I got plenty of stuff to do it with. As far as stacks, I got stones, I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to do it. Honestly, I have stacks I could push it with Tet. It's just I don't want to make that commitment because my Dark Knights just try weapons as well, and I may want to do, you know what I mean? I don't know. We got to get to 60. Let's see. I really like Lahn a lot. I really like the playstyle a whole lot. It's really my kind of what I look for in a class in any MMO. It's really something I like. So it's definitely up there. I do enjoy my Dark Knight quite a bit. I hardly ever play it now. It's been sitting at since I hit 61. I've done almost nothing but fish on that thing. And I don't know that that's going to change. We'll have to see. We'll see how much I like Lahn, and then at some point, I think I'm just going to try all the Lahn weapons, and at that point, I'll have to kind of make a decision and decide what's going to happen, because from there, it's time to go Tet. And really, it's already time to go Tet on the Dark Knight. I also have I've kind of used it to build stacks, but I have the Nuver for Dark Knight. It's got a Tricudum on it. And I just kind of picked this up because the night vendor had it, and I was like, whatever. And same thing with this Lahn. Like, I would pick up the Nuver if it just popped up, but I'm not like actively seeking it. I'm not like actively enchanting the Nuver either. Not just yet, anyways. I don't think that I would push the Kudum to Tet on either. If that were the case, I would be looking for Nuver. At that point, try is good enough just for farming anything you want to farm with that kind of AP. So yeah, the Lahn's AP is a little short. Now that I have the Tet ring, I'm at 209 with Kudum on the Dark Knight, so that's pretty nice. I'd like to be 220 with the Kudum before swapping to Nuver, if we can get the Nuver up there. One thing that is really drawing me back, and why I have my warehouse opened right now, I did a video, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something like that, about how to make money off the marketplace, just buying things during events and they're real cheap. And in the video, I was talking about something I buy often is these Ancient Guardian Seals. And the reason for that is when there's no event for a little while, when there's no event, these Ancient Guardian Seals sell for 13 to 14 mil all the time. And when there is an event, they typically drop down to about 7-ish mil. Well, if you saw when I scroll over there, these things are just plummeting every day because this event is just going on too long. And I thought that when I initially saw it, I was like, why are we running this event where we're giving out all this stuff longer than 2 weeks? I sound like I'm kind of just like complaining about it, and maybe I am, but that's too long. Like, it's just deflated so many items. They're going to go back up. Don't get me wrong. I'm not concerned about that part of it. These are investments just sitting in here anyways, because all of these things I bought, I was buying them at 7 mil, like the first few of them, and then they just kept going down. I was buying at 6 and buying at 5. I don't think I bought any below 5 because I'm not buying anymore. I want to have enough liquid money available to be able to pick up a try dandelion for the Lahn if it comes up, which it has a few times, actually, surprisingly. But I want to have enough money on hand just in case there's a try that goes up with it. Obviously, I would like to have the money for Tet on it, but I'm so far invested into these things at this point that I would take a loss selling them now, and I don't want to. I'll wait a week or two, sell them on the marketplace to actually make some money on it. Then we'll be caked up again, and no big deal from there. But yeah, these things just they're crashing so bad. The event ends on Wednesday. I can't wait for it. It's still going to take maybe another week or even longer because I know I'm not going to be the only one that's hoarding these things. The Kadri rings, I never bought any. These are just from ones I've gotten from farming. The Crescent ring I think I made from Yona fragments, and I actually had it up for sale because these aren't really crashing much. They're down to 40 right this second, but they do peak up back to 50, but you can get these out of the event boxes as well. So they're coming down a little bit, but I had this listed, it didn't sell, and they were down to like 36 mil. I was like, whatever, I just throw it in the warehouse. I'll wait till the event's over, don't care. I actually am like one Yona fragment short of making another one. Anyway, so that's whatever. Same thing, red coral earrings are crashed. They're almost almost half the price of that. These guys, witches earrings, I guess they're not coming out of the box very often because they're not bad. These you normally are there at 12 mil, and to see where they're at now, minimum price 9.3. That's not bad. I only got, I think 2 of these were out of the event boxes, and the other 3 were off Night Vendor for like 4 mil, which is just auto win money. But again, I don't want to sell it now at the lower amount. I can easily just sit on it, don't care. And then ancient weapon cores are down a couple of mil. Like these things are usually only like 5 to 7. It's not crazy on those. And then I do want to sell these alchemy stones someday, but there's 3 mil still sitting on the table that those are worth extra. So yeah, I keep buying stones as needed just so I'm prepped for that. And that's pretty much it as far as that. But I'm over these things. Yeah, I guess I got 2 of these out of the boxes as well throughout the event. I'm just over it. I don't want it anymore. I'm tired of the event. I would like for it to go away. It's not for me. I want to make my money back. I invested a decent amount of money in it, which is whatever. You know, you can always grind more money and then these investments will be fine later on. I'm not happy with how long it went in the first place. That wasn't for me. It should have been like a 2-week thing. It's been like, I think it was 3 or 4, not looking at the exact dates. I know it ends on Wednesday. I'm very, very aware that it ends on Wednesday. So there's that. The other thing that's been kind of hurting my income, specifically at Kadri, is in the patch notes from this last week, they adjusted the drop rates in certain drop items in certain areas, right? And they have particular areas that they increased drop rates. So like for instance, Fogans and Nagas, they took the black crystals out of the game from dropping in that area. The black magic crystals that sell for like 3.6 mil, those were removed. They're no longer in the drop table. That was 2 weeks ago, I think they did this. At any rate, so they removed those from the drop table, but then they increased the drop rate of scrolls. So now Fogans and Nagas pretty much, I mean, you go there for XP. Really, it's not a straight money grind. But now you kind of can go there for a money grind. When it first came out, people were making absurd claims that they're getting like, you never know when somebody's like serious or trolling, because RNG is a thing, and there's definitely going to be like spikes where somebody got a crazy amount of scrolls per hour. But somebody claiming they were averaging like 25 scrolls per hour, I don't think you're averaging that. That was a little eccentric. I haven't done it myself. I don't know. I've watched some other streamers doing it. It looks about 10 or so on average. You know, some are going to have higher or lower. And the other thing you got to keep in mind is people also like to assign large values without having a big subset of data. You need to have a lot of hours logged before you can really say what an average is. You can't, go grind for an hour a day for a week and then say, oh, this is what your average is because I got, 20 scrolls in 5 hours. Like it's not enough for that. But the point is, the scrolls are definitely increased in those specific areas. Now, Kadri specifically, on the other hand, the item that they picked would drop more is just the green weapons, which not terrible. As you can see, I have a bunch of them. I use these for enchanting since I farm Kadri so much, building fail stacks and stuff. And then the swords don't ever sell. The plus 15 swords never sell, so I'll kind of I don't know, they just chill there. But the other weapons do, so I'll build fail stacks or whatever. They get to 15, throw it on the marketplace. It sells for like 15 mil or whatever, as long as it's not one of the short swords, or is it long sword? What is that? Yeah, long sword. No, the short swords definitely sell. So yeah, they increased the drop rate of the weapons themselves. The problem that I'm having with that, and that has hurt my income, is the scroll drop rate is definitely affected by these weapons dropping. What I mean by that is I was getting before about 7 or 8 scrolls per hour when I would farm Kadri. Now this was on my Dark Knight. So now on my Dark Knight, if I go there in an hour, I'm getting about 3. And when I go with my Lahn, because obviously my Lahn doesn't quite have the damage my Dark Knight does yet, I'm getting 1 if I'm lucky. I'll be out there for an hour and I'm just like, I'm getting 1. I get tons of other green weapons, which has always been a thing. I've always gotten a lot of green weapons, especially if you kill some of the elites out there, because they can drop up to like 3 weapons each when you kill them. But I'm getting weapons left and right. The scroll drop rate, it definitely has hurt. Like, and I'm out there it's not about, if I was going for straight money, I would just be farming on my Dark Knight anyhow. I want to level the Lahn, right? So I'm not crazy about Nagas and Fogans, and my reasoning for that is the amount of time I spend having to duel for my spot, or switching channels, or or just getting player killed, or whatever. At the amount of time I spend doing that is like, it's just kind of annoying. Like, the XP I could be getting per hour if I'm not bothered is going to be better at Cadre. I don't want to have to sit, and even when somebody comes up and they're like, yo, duel for spot, and I'm like, dude, I actually don't want, I'll just switch channels. Like, I'll honestly switch channels, because in the time because we're going to duel, it's real quick, then somebody's going to want to fight. Oh, let's run. If I win, they're going to like, oh, you keep the spot, but let's duel again. I'm like, dude, I'm 58. I'm trying to stay here for XP. Or I just lose. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me go serve. And like, oh no, try again. Like, I don't want to do it. It's like, dude, just flag and kill me or whatever. Like, dude, let's move on. I'm here for XP. It's not my Dark Knight. I'm not trying to PvP you. If I wanted to PvP you, I'd go to the Arsha server, which I'm going to get to in a second, because that new change to the drop rate there has made things really fun on the Arsha server when I'm looking for PvP. But at any point, been at Cadre a lot. I definitely am losing out on some scroll drops. It's being supplemented with even more weapon drops, which obviously are worth less. I don't have statistics for, am I getting enough weapon drops to supplement what the scrolls drop, which would be like 10 more weapon drops per scroll. That's pretty unlikely, but it's very noticeably different. The other stuff, I haven't noticed Jonas fragments being much different. It seems like the drop rate's about the same on those. And then the Seraph necklaces at Cadre actually only drops off the elites. The regular mobs can't drop the Seraphs, specifically at Cadre. So there's that too. So that drop rate, that was just, I don't know. It's kind of whatever. I'm at Cadre for a specific reason, which is it's still decent money. Their trash loot's like 1,200 to 1,300, sell price anyway. So you're going to get 7 mil or something like that in an hour. Farming there, even if it's a little slower than my DK, and the other stuff's there. It still has the Black Magic Crystal of Valor. That thing drops often enough, and that's 3.6 mil. Of course, you can get a Cadre ring, as you see in my warehouse stash there. I got plenty of those. There's a Pry one in there too that dropped. I don't think I've ever had a duo Cadre, even when I was leveling my Dark Knight and I farmed there. I don't think I think I've had a couple other Pries before. Anyways, nice. Those are nice little money boosts, obviously. But yeah, the consistency of the scroll drop is a little disheartening. Not the end of the world, but just wanted to mention that. I know a lot of the dudes in the guild that I'm in, I'm not really guild oriented. I'm like in one because I guess that's what you do, but I don't really participate in things in it. I don't really talk to the guys in it much. But they'll be talking in guild chat. They spend a lot of time at Fogans. Because you don't have to use the potions for the debuffs. You don't have desert debuffs there because of the water stuff or whatever. And they've been farming there and been doing pretty well with scrolls. So it's likely that maybe Nagas and Fogans are just flat out better for both XP and money at this point. I mean, I don't really know. But being uncontested for the most part of Catch, it's super rare that people come out there. And most people that do, they're just hunting for the elites anyways. Because that's actually a really good way to make money, is you specifically just go for the elites. I'm just out there killing dudes, getting some XP, making a little money. And that's that, and it's pretty chill. It's a good spot for me. I really like it. At what's this dude's AP? 192. At 192, yeah, it's fine. And then even when I'm at Dark Knight, I haven't done it with the Dark Knight since I got the Tet Mark of Shadow. So I was doing it at 205 before, but it would be at 209 if I tried it on the Dark Knight. I haven't, but either way, it's fine. I like the spot a lot. I know Gaha's is super popular, but again, it runs into the problem for me where it's super popular. So if everybody's doing it, it's kind of like, if everybody's going to do it, it's going to slow you down, right? You have to compete for the space again. So I just like finding a place I'm comfortable with. I like Cadre. I know it in and out. I like just farming there. The drops are decent enough. It's kind of whatever. So that's that. Now, one thing I tried the day that the new patch came out this week was the change that the Arsha server drop rate is now increased by 50%. So item drop rate just flat out across the board, 50% increase on the Arsha server specifically, just that one, everywhere. Doesn't include boss items. There's not bosses on the Arsha server either, but they did mention specifically in the patch notes it doesn't include boss items, which, yeah, okay, duh. So that's been really cool. When it came up, I first jumped right in. I did the patch notes video on Wednesday right after the patch notes came out. They were released pretty early, which was good. So I put that out right away, and then as soon as I finished uploading that video, I jumped in to check it out. It was so much fun. It was so much fun because, one, the drop rate is pretty good. Like, it's very noticeable. A 50% drop rate increase should be noticeable, and it is. You can see it pretty quickly. It's very fast. The thing is, I was definitely making less money and less XP per hour than I was on a normal server because everybody was there. Even at Kadri, it was like, it's constant PvP, constant open world PvP. But what's cool is since the drop rate increase, it's bringing so many players into farm there. It's not just the players that are, you know, like 550 gear score, like, you know, everybody soft cap or higher. It's not just those guys that are usually on the Arsha server in different areas. It's everybody. So it's like good open world PvP. It's a lot of fun. I've mentioned before, I used to play Ion like a lot back in the day. For years I played that game, and what I really enjoyed the open world PvP aspect for it. You did actually get rewarded for killing people in open world, unlike this game where you just actually kind of get penalized for it. So having that set up, it reminded me of playing Ion a bit again, where it's like, yeah, people are out trying to kill monsters, but they're also going to try and kill you, and it's not just like, oh, flag up and this guy kills my 58 Lahn in 2 hits, you know what I mean? It's not just that type of encounter, it's actual, like, semi-balanced PvP. Don't get me wrong, those dudes are still out there. This warrior just straight up, like, I didn't even see him coming as I'm, like, attacking some mobs, whatever, and he just, like, spun over to me and I was dead. Granted, you know, at the time I was like 56, but like that happened, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. So that part, it's still there. That, you know, the high gear players are definitely, obviously, still on there. Why not be if you're the top dog? Go to the best drop rate. Like, I totally get it. But it's cool that other people are there too. So what I've found, I can't farm there. Like, farming on Arsha is just not going to be very good unless you are soft cap or better for it. It's not going to work for me yet to be able to do that because I'm going to have to fight so much. But I have been switching over there when I'm in the mood for some PvP. No penalties and stuff where, like, just go for it. It's so much fun. It's a great way to just kind of change up the pace of the game, you know, not just straight up grind PvE mode all the time. It's a nice change of pace, and something I honestly think that I've been missing from an MMO in general since I left Ion. I didn't have a game that had that experience, and Black Desert Online's PvP was somewhat lacking in that regard, and this kind of gives it a different outlet for it, not just overgeared people running around hunting people, or you'll have the guys that come around and want to try and get a mob to kill you so that you lose your experience or whatever. It's just silly. It's just griefing stuff. Like, I don't really care for that kind of PvP. But this stuff where everybody's on the PvP server, I'm super hyped about it. I really love the change of pace in gameplay. I'm really happy for that, and I hope that that continues to happen. Obviously, it'll die down a bit over the next week or two as people have, you know, tried the new drop rate on Arsha server, and then they'll kind of, you know, go their own way and go back to what they were doing, or go AFK life scaling, whatever. You know, everybody's hyped about new stuff that's coming out, so that's really a bigger draw for it than anything. So yeah, that's pretty much all I really had to recap on. Again, I didn't have a guest this week for it. I've just been kind of working on my lawn. I've been working real life, you know, a lot lately, so I really didn't have too much time to level, so I don't have a ton of upgrades for you. Hopefully I can snag that dandelion and get that up to try and maybe make some other gains before next week and see what we come up with. Maybe have something for you there. Maybe Lucchese will jump on, or maybe one of the other guys in the guild or something. I can ask around and see if somebody wants to jump in and talk a little bit next week. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching. If you liked the video, I do podcasts mostly weekly. Didn't catch one last week, but do podcasts weekly. We do patch notes recap on Wednesday when the patch notes come out. So if you want to follow the channel, go ahead and drop a subscription there. Click on that thing, and then if you want to like the video, if you enjoyed it, you know, drop a like. I know this one wasn't like super content filled or anything, super entertainment, but you know, I didn't have a bunch of changes. I just wanted to put something out there, say what's up to everybody, and you know, have something there so you can listen to on your drive home from work or whatever. That's usually how I listen to podcasts. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.